Welcome to Empowered Heart to Heart, where you'll hear messages of hope, conversations that heal, and interviews that empower. Well, hey, this is Dr. Rhonda Simmons, and I am so excited to be with you one more time. You know, it is a great day to be alive, and I want to welcome you to this edition of Empowered Heart to Heart. I am so glad that you're here because you make all the difference in the world. I'm thankful to you and to God for making this a global podcast. We've got people downloading episodes from all over the world. So make sure that you subscribe to our podcast as well as to our YouTube channel. Yes, we're on YouTube, so you can listen to us or you can watch the YouTube video. Make sure you like, comment, and share this video if you're watching us on YouTube, and let somebody know what you're watching and what you're listening to. Also on YouTube, make sure that you hit the notification button so that you can be notified every single time I upload a new video, because we are doing a great work here and you want to stay in the know. In fact, you can always reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. Our handle is TSEFIORG. Yes, all one word, no spaces, but that stands for the Simmons Empowerment Foundation Incorporated. And that's too much to, type in. So TSEFIORG. Well, I am staying true to my tradition of saying that on this podcast, I have met some of the best people this side of heaven. Yes, I have, and I won't take it back. I have. All over the world, there are great men and women who are doing phenomenal things, and they're making a difference in this world and having an impact. Just in case you didn't know, you were not created and placed here on this earth to just take up space. You were created to do something. You matter to someone. You make a difference in somebody's life. And if you're not, you can. While there's still time, you can. And so today is no exception to the great people that I have met, because I am here to talk with Shevvy Mac, who helps mission-driven business owners and organizational leaders reclaim their time. Ooh, that's a whole sermon in itself. And step confidently into their roles as visionary leaders. Not only that, but Shevvy is the host of the Lead Like a CEO podcast. She is an Air Force veteran. Woo, woo, go Air Force. And a seasoned people development and operations consultant. Shevvy empowers business owners and leaders to get out of the day-to-day grind and fully embrace their role by aligning with their business purpose, their people, and their performance for long-term sustainable growth. I am so happy that Shevvy is on the show with me today. She has over 22 years of distinguished military leadership, and she has honed her expertise in people development and operations. And let me tell you, working on your people development skills is no small feat. And so I'm excited to bring to this stage Miss Shevvy Mac. Hey, Shevvy, how are you?
Hello, hello. I'm like, let me unmute.
Yes. I am so glad to have you on the show today. Oh my goodness. Thank you for your service to our country. We appreciate that, and for staying in all the way through to retirement. That is fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, no, first of all, thank you, Dr. Simmons, for having me here. I'm excited to be here, and I appreciate you thanking me for my service after 22 plus years in the Air Force.
Yes. I now, for those listening or watching, I am not a U.S. veteran, but my husband is, and so that's why I get excited when I meet other veterans, because
Yeah.
there are lots of sacrifices that veterans and their families make that people will never know. Civilians will never know. It's a totally different culture, and so thank you so much for doing what you did to keep our freedom and our safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
So tell us about this whole people development, because people are interesting creatures. Let me tell you.
Yes, they
Oh
are.
my goodness. So how did you get into the people development space? What is it about it that really attracted you?
Okay, great question. So I'm just gonna take it back to when I was like a little like kid, and I'm originally from. Slow down. Originally, I'm from South America, Guyana, and I always wanted to be. I love school. I love learning. I love developing people, and even as a kid, I always wanted to do something. Whether that's being a teacher, a social worker, even as a teenager, I was working at my summer jobs where I am dealing with young kids at the daycare or a summer camp. And I always love people. And I remember seeing myself always helping others. I always wanted to make sure that everyone had what they needed. And as I joined the military, my background was morale, like making sure that the people within the base, the families were good to go, in the sense of having activities. And I have a background in teaching as well too. So I was able to spend over 8+ years as an instructor, facilitator, and coach in the military. So when it comes to people development and how I lead, it's not only about just the work, but for me, it's taking care of the people, even on active duty. Depending on the organization I was a part of, some leaders will say mission first, people, always. And for me, it's like, no, people first, mission always. Because as long as you take care of the people, I truly believe that the people will take care of the mission always. So,
I absolutely agree with you. I have two careers really, and mine for the last 15 years has been in education, and I'm a people first kind of person too. And I feel like no matter what research based strategies they roll out for us to do in the classroom, it's the people who's going to walk it out. You got to take care of your people, and so I am so thrilled to hear how it seems like your entire life has been aligned with your purpose, from
yes.
childhood to now. And that is so powerful. How 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 do you help people make that alignment like you did?
Honestly, this alignment just came to me like recently as well too, because to be honest, as I, be navigating, I'm retired from the military after 22+ years. I just celebrated my 1 year anniversary just this month, beginning of this month. And as I'm navigating my business and figuring out, okay, who do I want to serve and what is it? Because I'm a multi-talented individual and I am passionate. But as I started reflecting more and I'm like, people has always been my drive. Even when I'm running operations, is like, how do we optimize not only the processes and things, but making sure that the people have what they need. And it was only, I think, the last month I was like, I'm a people development, like, because I love, and I look back at the business owners that I served, even my time in the military, when I'm teaching, when I'm facilitating, that's where my energy, like, I am like, when I say high energy, like I'm in my flow. So helping people with, getting that alignment for them is really tapping into what fuels them, really understanding what energized you. Like, you said you were a principal, but off camera, but you knew like this was not the place of where you should be continuing on your journey. It's really stepping into what you're doing right now. And it's really allowing individuals that I serve to really shift their mindset and get the clarity that they need. Because for me, it's really understanding what really is it, that I'm passionate about, but what really excites me. And for me, and as I look back, is when I talk to you or someone, even in conversation, I'm excited because I'm like, I hear you, but I'm already thinking of how I can help you succeed. And I just want to share very quickly. I attended a conference on Wednesday, and it was the Department of Transportation, and we're meeting new other business owners. And I'm having a conversation with this individual. He has his own HVAC company, and just from our conversation, and I'm listening. And I was like, hey, do you mind? I was like, I hope you don't mind. Can I give you some tips on how you can develop yourself and expand not only your business, but you as leader? And he was like, Chevy, I'm going to take you up on your challenge. And he even called me back a couple of days later. He's like, hey, thank you, because you have challenged me to step into something different. And honestly, I just love it.
Yes.
Hopefully that answer your question.
Oh my goodness, yes, you did. I can so relate to what you're saying. Um, I shared my why behind why I started my nonprofit organization for unwed teen moms, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about
Yes.
that here, but one of the things that I said towards the end of it is that this nonprofit is my baby. I stay up with it, all night. I cry over it. I fight
Yes.
for it, because when you are living a purpose aligned life, it's
Yes.
not work. There's
Yes.
a word that you have used multiple times in this short interview so far that you may not even realize that you've used it, and that word is serve. You keep
Hmm.
talking about the people that you serve, the organizations you serve. You never said, this is what I do, this is my work,
Oh wow.
this is my employment. You kept saying serve. I used to be an English teacher, so vocabulary is huge, and word choices are
Yes.
powerful. And I just love that use of the word serve, because it lets me know how you view yourself. And servant leadership is
Yes.
powerful. It is so powerful. Oh my goodness. Wow. So um what type of transformation can business owners and leaders expect when they work with you?
Wow. Great question. So honestly, from my work and what I do, and from the business owners that I've served, whether they pay me or just in free consultation, free services, one is a mindset shift. That is number one. Their mindset is expanded because I'm a big visionary person. So if you're coming in small, we're going to go big because I want them to see, like, hey, where you're at, if they want to, because not all people want to, and not in a sense of finances, but in the sense of their thinking, of the quality of life that they can have, the things that they can achieve in their businesses, in their career. So it's a mindset shift, and also is the belief of like, wow, I can do X, Y, and Z. Like for example, one of my client, Denise, and when we started working together, she was into taxes, and what she is doing now, she actually sold off all her clients because that was not bringing her joy. And now she's in the space of where she is truly bringing joy to herself, but also to kids in the brain art space. And she is so excited to be in this new space. And she was like, Chevy, thank you so much. And we still communicate through, Messenger and so forth, because we've connected as friends now. So for me is the mindset, and also how you do business shifts as well too. It is optimized because I am bringing all of my skills and also the passion, because for me honestly,
Mhm.
I could probably have a lot more money, but I don't. And I'm still continuing to build my business. But for me, it is serving the people and the outcome that they get when working with me. So the mindset shift, and also their overall business, how that is optimized, is also elevated as well too.
Wow, that is fantastic. As a sister entrepreneur
Mhm.
um, as well, one of the things that I find is, people want to go out and hire a team right away, you know, to support them, and I get it. Their usefulness is definitely needed. I understand all that, but until we can clearly articulate what it is we need them to do,
Yes.
um, you know, we're almost wasting money and their time. I don't need them to figure it out. I already did that. Here's what I need you to do, and so I like that you're taking the time to systematize your business so that you can focus on your purpose, and you can give everything, because that's what CEOs do. We focus on the big picture. We focus on um, how we can grow the business, not
Yes.
the day-to-day tasks. But until we can get to that point, we are powerhouses. We can do it all. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we can make those CEO decisions. We can coach you, and then we can also do a social media post with a graphic. We can,
Yes. All
we
the
can,
things. All the
yes,
things. Yes.
Yes. And so I believe even the Bible talks about despise not the day of small things.
Mm,
You know,
wow.
and so we start somewhere, but that is not where we stay. I love how you
Yes.
talked about if people come in thinking small, you're go big or go home,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
yes, yes, and so I love that about what you do. So Chevy, tell us about this upcoming book you have in the works.
Okay, yes. So I always wanted to write a book. Even when I was going through my divorce, I said I need to write a book on how to not lose yourself while going through a divorce. And that may be a second book because it can be a very challenging process for a lot of individuals. So as I'm passionate about people, and I was sitting down one day, and I'm big on resiliency because I've gone through life challenges. I've gone through divorce. I've lost my mom. I spent 22 years in the military. So I understand how important it is to be resilient through all of that. And one thing that I know for me, and as I look back on my career, and even leaders will say to me, like, Sergeant, Maxwell, because my last name is Maxwell, Siobhan Maxwell. I like to be upfront, but I go by Shevvy Mac on social, just in case. And they will say, well, it was McFarland at the time, because I was married on active duty, and I've gotten a lot of feedback say like, you are able to handle whatever's thrown at you without reacting, whether it's crazy or irrational. Like, I know how to not bounce back, but move forward, because that's one thing that I don't do. And yes, I do have my cries, because trust me, building a business, a career, being a mom, going through life, we're gonna have our moments. I've experienced anxiety due to all the things that I was going through in life, because again, being ambitious, driven. And so I decided to take all of that and create and write my book finally. And this book is really focused on helping other women to really overcome the challenges that they're facing right now, whether that's in their lives, in their careers, and in their businesses. Because guess what? We're living, we have lives and different things going on. We've gone through career, and a lot of us who are entrepreneurs now spent, whether that's 15 years as a principal, or like me in the military, 22 plus years. We transition. So I'm taking my journey to share my story, but also lessons and strategies that they can actually implement and utilize to navigate life, career, and business without losing who she is. Because this book is for a woman
Mhm.
who is like you and me, who has done a lot, and we're still doing a lot.
Yes, yes,
Yes,
it's in our DNA.
yes.
Well, that is just wonderful. I love this book. When will it be out?
So honestly, I did select, because again, being ambitious, I was like, you know what? I'm going to have this out on the 1st of November. That is not happening. So I'm being realistic, because I do have a 5-year old, but also I have other things going on in my business. And what I've learned, the book is written, but the editing part is what takes time. So I'm currently in the process of editing. So I'm not going to put a date out, but I'm hoping in the next 30 days to have it fully complete, because I have the cover. I just need to do my part, which I'm already 50% done, because it's going to be a self help guide for women leaders to help them navigate life, career, and business. And then I'm hoping the next 30 days, honestly, for it to be done, ready to be released. But I am doing a wait list for people to sign up prior, which anyone on the wait list, if they decide to purchase the book, they will be getting goodie bags as well, along with the book as well too. So we're going to say the next 30 days, at least by the end of November, or it might be before, but I will be making an announcement on my social medium on LinkedIn.
Well, that sounds so exciting. Wow. Chevy, you are an amazing example of a resilient woman. I mean, your military background alone shows that through all of your deployments and, your successful retirement and successful career in the armed forces. Um, Wonderful, wonderful. And now you're here in business, living a purpose aligned life. And I love it. I love it. I love it. And so there is one key word that just is like the core of me and the core of what I do. And that word is empowerment. And so
Mm.
sometimes I like to ask my guests, what does the word empowerment mean to you?
First of all, when it comes to empowerment, everyone needs to utilize it every single day, especially as ambitious individuals, especially women who are listening to your podcast, because too often, and I've seen it in the military, we have leaders who are in position of power wants to continue to micromanage their folks. And that is not empowerment. So for me, it's not about speaking, oh, I empower my people. No, I need you to lead with action and say, hey, Chevy, you're empowered to do X, Y, and Z. So for me, empowerment is allowing yourself to give up on some of those responsibilities, to delegate, to let your team or your spouse or your kids take on some additional, role or task that you feel like you have to be the one to do all of it. Because when it comes to burnout, it's it's going to be a continued cycle because you are not empowering. So for me, it's not just saying it, it's doing it. Like truly leaning in and empower your team to make the mistake, empower your team to be innovative, empower them to take risks and be okay with, okay, I don't have to micromanage, because in order to grow as a leader, you have to release that tightness that you feel like you need to have. You need to empower, 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 because when you empower, you will see growth not only in you will see it in your kids, you will see it in your spouse, your partner, but also you will see it with your team, whether you're a business owner or you work in corporate. Empower your folks. Yes, at the end of the day, you're the CEO, and you don't have to be a business owner to be or operate as a CEO. And that's why my podcast is about lead like a CEO. So, and that comes with empowering yourself to let go of certain things.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you look up Chevy's podcast, Lead Like a CEO. Make sure you save it, bookmark it, subscribe to it so that you're not missing a single episode. What platforms can we find your podcast on, Chevy?
You can find it on Spotify and Apple, but also I will say lately I just been on LinkedIn and I go live there every Wednesday. So the podcast is live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Central Time. So I do have to transfer it into onto Spotify, which I haven't done within the last 3 months. But you can catch me all the replays, and they're located on my YouTube channel, Lead Like a CEO, as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, Chevy, thank you so much for being on our show today. You have been a bright spot in my day, and this has been an exciting, exciting conversation. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you being here today.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Dr. Simmons. I definitely appreciate you, and I am looking forward to being on here again because honestly, I enjoyed this. I felt like I got energized as well. So thank you.
Yes, yes. So if you'll just hang out for a minute, I'm going to wrap up the show and I'll be right back with you, okay?
Yes.
I told you, and I ain't never lied about our great guest. Yes, I said ain't, and yes, I'm an educator. It's just life. Let me tell you, this was an incredible, empowering interview with Shevvy Mac. Look up her podcast on Lead Like a CEO. And if you're like me, I like looking at people, so check out her LinkedIn um, profile so that you can see her live podcast every Wednesday. You don't want to miss it. And so I'm super excited because it's important that we learn how to live purpose aligned lives. When you start rearranging your life to align with your purpose, don't be surprised at the things that you will let go. And between me and you, the people you may have to let go because they do not align with your purpose. It's not that you're trying to be mean or unfriendly or anything like that, but you're trying to do what God has commissioned you to do. And as the lyrics say, you understood the assignment. And so make sure that you are living that purpose aligned life so that God can get all the glory and you can create a ripple effect of impact, not just in your family and not just in your community, But this is 2024, and your impact can have global reach. Just like this podcast, your impact can have global reach. So make it happen. Do what you have to do. Figure out what is your purpose. Why are you here? Why did God create you? What talents do you have? I love the fact that Shevvy mentioned that she's multi talented, and she didn't apologize for that either. And I don't blame her. I'm the same way. God just made us that way. But whether you have multiple talents or just one, use whatever talent you have for the glory of God and for the benefit of other people. You know, I haven't mentioned this in a while on my show, but there is an old gospel hymn. No, I'm not about to sing, but I could. Yes, I could, but I'm not going to. I'll just tell you what the lyrics are. You might know this song, your grandparents may have sung it, but here are the lyrics. If I can help somebody as I pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or a song, if I can show somebody that they're traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. So until the next time, be blessed, be encouraged, but most of all, be empowered. And I'll see you on the next edition of Empowered Heart to Heart.